So, welcome to the nationally syndicated Igniting Your Dynamic Self series. I'm your host, Wendy Bjork, and we are always looking for ways to empower you to live your best life with hope, which stands for harmony, options, peace, and empowerment. And we have an extra special and very interesting story for you today that I've been really looking forward to sharing with you. Today, I'm visiting with Sharik Peck, who is a PT, MRC, and founder, CEO of the Rezzimax Tuner Pro. Sharik has advanced degrees in physical therapy and rehabilitation counseling, and he has over 29 years of helping people eliminate pain from their lives, which is just amazing. He experienced several disabling accidents himself, including a broken neck and a broken back, as well as a dislocated shoulder and a stroke, accompanied by years of chronic pain. His wife has suffered from chronic neck pain, and out of these experiences became an intense desire to help many, many others in chronic pain as well. And it drove him to figure out a natural solution for pain. His research is focused on resonance and its effects on the human nervous system. The Pain Tuner Pro is the result of over 14 years of research and development. And it's been awarded 3 US patents, along with 1 patent from China. Welcome to the program, Sharik.
Wendy, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. And if you'd like to tell a little bit about your backstory, and then we'll dig into how I stumbled upon the tuner and just share with everyone what an amazing tool this is.
Well, thank you. My own story goes back quite a ways because I broke my neck when I was 2. That's a very young age. I don't even remember it, but the evidence is there. If you look at an x-ray, I don't have that little process that holds C1 and C2 together. And so I've got an instability in my neck that I've always had to live with. It's created quite the problems, jaw pain and other issues that I've just learned to deal with. But the worst thing was when I was 17, because of that, I was in a wrestling match. I didn't realize then that I had an unstable cervical region, and I got caught in a bad headlock, and it ruptured or ripped open a vertebral artery. You only have 4 major arteries that come up and provide the blood supply for your brain, and my vertebral artery was one of those major suppliers of the blood. And so I learned how to learn again. I learned how to walk again, learned how to feed myself, and I couldn't drive for many, many months. And you know, there was a lot to go through in learning how to rehabilitate from a major brain injury. But once I got back to that point of functioning well, I could not wait to be able to help the rest of the world that especially had been through things like me, gone from healthy to complete loss of health, to trying to build back up that sense of ability to function in this world. And I know that your story, Wendy, has a lot of similarities there. And I love being able to connect with people that have that same kind of, whether it be chronic pain, whether it be, you know, a stroke, whether it be a head injury, that fight to get back to functioning, and then turning and trying to help others just like you that have been struggling. That's something that we all have in common. I think those of us who have really suffered some severe injuries. Well, anyway, years later, you know, I've been a physical therapist for a lot of years now, but I woke up one night with this most unique experience, and middle of the night I woke up and something, I don't know what it was, but some wonderful power in the universe said, Sharik, vibration will heal the human nervous system. Now you go figure out how. And it was part B to that message, the you go figure out how, that has just sent me searching and searching and searching night and day for years since then, trying to understand what that meant. And I can now put it into great words. I know exactly what it means. It means that if you tap into the wonderful powers of the vagus nerve, you have the ability to heal the human nervous system from an awful lot of conditions that keep us from enjoying life. And we found that there's just a very, very cool relationship that the vagus nerve has with vibration. Now, we know that it responds to electrical stimulation. That's been studied for years. But vibration has this unique relationship because your vocal cords are a direct branch of the vagus nerve.
Mm.
And because of that, it gives this really unique relationship between our vocal cords, our heart, our diaphragm, all of our internal organs, and all of these beautiful relationships with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland and the hearing mechanism. Anyway, that vagus nerve is what we target. And we did it in such a simple mechanism. We took the purring range of a cat and we mechanized it, and we did some really cool engineering with it. And we even have one of our patents is just on the utility of the range of vibration that we tapped into. And we send that information in through key pressure points in the body, and the brain just responds to it. I know it gets me very excited, but I remember when we first met, if you don't mind me jumping into that a little bit.
Sure.
Your health condition was precarious the day we met. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
exactly how
yes.
you were functioning, but
And I just remember being in that room that was a big ballroom, and it was just wall to wall people, just jammed with people. And it was the summer of 2017 in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I've never been to Utah before. And I think between the long flights and being dehydrated, and it was so hot in there, I could feel a migraine coming, and I just wanted to get out of there. But I couldn't because it was just jammed with people, and everybody was just going around. It was basically a vendor show, and everybody was going, in this flow, and I had to come by your booth to get out. And I know you just took one look at me and just said, just wait, let these other people finish. And I remember saying, if you could get rid of my migraine, I'm sold. And you sat me down and showed me how to get rid of my migraines. And I was just grateful for that, and grateful to, enjoy the rest of my day, and still using it to this day for my migraines that pop up. So I'm just thankful.
wow. I'm glad that we got to meet that day, and I'm glad that you had such a rough go of it. And I'm sure that it made the rest of your trip a lot better.
It did. But the funny story, the rest of the story is I had three friends with me that were traveling. We are all traveling kind of together. And after we were done that day, they gave me that look like, oh, you poor thing, you were just had. And I said, no. I said, my migraine's gone. And now I have it right here, my little tool that I can take with me wherever I go. And I don't have to worry about migraines. And right, they robbed me. I used to be down for 2 days with them. And when I was younger, it could be 2 or 3 days. And I think, that's just one aspect of how it's helped me. And you probably have tons of stories of, how you've helped other people. But when I was 15, I started having symptoms of MS. And, I use it for, like you said, just reconnecting my body, my systems. And I think it just helps keep me going. I just know that, once my system is tired and I'm fatigued, especially, my kids swam, they're in swim team, and being in that hot pool all day. And I know it would just come home and just melt. I would just be a puddle. And if I could use my tuner for a few minutes, at least I could have a little bit of time the rest of the day without going to bed right away. It's just remembering to grab that and that it's there for me.
You know, Wendy, that was one of the things that was interesting to me. You and I had a couple of conversations since that very first time that we met. And I recall that you were trying to figure out how to improve your energy, how to manage energy so that you could be able to enjoy these activities with your children. And we talked about a couple of protocols that I think made quite a difference for you. And one of the neat things is we found out ways to improve your energy for 4 to 6 hours at a time. But unlike the pills that you could take to try and do that, this would give you a natural energy. It's an internal energy, nothing that you are taking in, but it was improving your natural rhythms within your system so that you would have higher energy, 4 to 6 hours, and then you would taper off of it slowly and not crash like you would if you were trying to take medications. And I think that that was empowering for you to realize that you could start to learn how to manage your energy. What else changed by doing that for you?
I think just having that option, and instead of just, gravitating towards caffeine or, like you said, towards pills, knowing that I can do it for myself with something that I was using for my migraines as well, that it's just right here in my pocket. And I just appreciate that so much. And that's what I try to help people with too, is, instead of grabbing caffeine, which is so terrible for us and our system and our adrenals, and, use things that don't impact you, like you said, like swallowing pills or drinking another cup of coffee or grabbing a soda, because those have other effects too. You have the sugar, you have the other chemicals that are included, and that slows us down. Why not grab something like the tuner, which is proven to help? And like I said, it's easily transportable. Just throw it in your bag and it's with you all the time.
Well, do you mind if I show people, because I know folks are going to want to know what is it that we actually did. Do you mind if I show you or show our listeners or our viewers what that process is?
Yes.
So here's the basic tuner. We're actually on the Tuner Pro 2 model, and we developed in there a number of proprietary patterns or algorithms that are designed to either calm the nervous system down or to ramp it up. And one of these in particular, now these patterns, they woke me up during the middle of the night once. And it was such a neat experience because I knew these patterns needed to be in our device, these 4 patterns. I didn't know exactly why some of them needed to be there. I just knew that those patterns needed to be there. It took another 4 or 5 years until I could get engineers to actually create it and put it into it. But the one pattern that we found extremely helpful for you, and I have refined those patterns even further since we visited, to help more and more people with MS and more people with chronic fatigue syndrome. And I mean, you can put any name you want to it. Those that suffer from energy management issues are benefiting from these protocols. So what we do is we put it onto the red cycle, which I did not understand why I needed a red cycle when we created it. But this red cycle is not necessarily calming for the central nervous system. You might think of it as a little bit agitating or yanking the chain on a big dog. We want to grab its attention. And with something like MS, I want to grab the central nervous system's attention. And so we have this mode designed in here that is pre-made to create a attention grabber for the central nervous system. So we'll put that on pressure points like at the feet or at the legs or even at the tailbone area. And we will run it through a cycle of that wake up, which helps the brain make better sense of the body map. It's like connecting the dots, so it has a better picture of where all the parts and pieces are. And then we'll put that onto a blue or a green cycle, which is actually much more rhythmic. It's like waves of the ocean. And these are what I would call our energizer modes. So they put your nervous system into a great rhythm. This green one in particular will speed up the way your nervous system is functioning. So we'll put you on red to wake it up, and we'll put you on green to speed up the processing. The result of those is that you or anybody with these energy management problems gets a natural boost of your own endorphins that are designed to help keep your nervous system functioning at a higher level for a normal cycle. A normal cycle in the body is 4 to 6 hours. And so we use those tools now to help teach the body how to get back into better rhythms. You are one of the individuals that helped me understand that principle, because you posed the question to me and you told me about your experiences. That gave me the boost to start experimenting with others with similar conditions, which is where we started to really dial in and understand how to use this tool for energy management.
Wow.
What a blessing.
You just think about all the divine messages you've received, the divine connections, and how it can just spread everywhere. That is so cool.
I do believe that we have a strong higher power in the universe that wants us to find happiness and success, and wants us, there's a very strong positive energy out there. And we live a better life by tapping into it and being kind and helping wherever we can. And that's the energy that we have found that helps us help a lot more people.
Right. I feel the same way. I actually feel like I was given MS so young so that I can help others get through it. And I feel like we're just all here to walk each other home and have the best life doing it.
I'm with you.
So how many prototypes have you actually created of the tuner?
It's gotta be over 20. We've worked with a couple dozen engineers to this point, and we did I think your very first tool, we actually made it in a faraway overseas country. We now make these in the United States. And we actually make them in my home state of Utah. It's about 15 minutes from my home, to be exact. And it is so delightful to be able to go to the grocery store and see my neighbors that help us make parts and pieces and things for our tools right here. So, but more than that, we've found ways to improve it and improve it and improve it. Now, that's the wrong way to make a great business, from what I've been told. You're supposed to make a great product that everybody understands and makes sense when they look at it, and then the world will buy it. And we decided the world needed something that we were creating, and then we're spending our days trying to teach them how to be able to use it. But we've got a number of guides and videos and things to make it easier for people to understand. It's not that complicated to get your nervous system functioning better. And the side effect of getting your nervous system functioning better is that you get pain relief. You get migraine headaches that just kind of melt and go away. You get neuropathy that just kind of disappears, and even your symptoms of MS can change dramatically. Now, it's not just our tool, it's diet, it's, there's so many other things that are important factors, and we're not experts on all of that, but we can sure teach you how to use our tool to get your nervous system to start behaving in a much more appropriate manner, and your immune system to start working right.
Right. And you're right. It's not just one thing. There's always more aspects to our well-being. And it is diet. It's cutting out sugar. It's cutting out processed food. If you read a label and you can't pronounce the ingredients, you don't belong eating it. And then it gets into the other toxins that are around us, whether it's our home cleaners, our personal care products. We've been just sold and told you just buy the stuff, you use it because nobody's telling you not to. But the same thing goes for anything else you're bringing in your home. If you can't discern what that item is composed of, don't bring it into your house. If it's not clear what it's, the ingredients are, that even gets down to candles and air fresheners. If you watch TV ever, which I usually don't, but I watched a football game on Saturday and you're just bombarded with commercials. Plug this in the wall, it'll smell great. Well, it's just all synthetic chemicals. And whatever we breathe in, our body doesn't know what to do with those molecules, and just trying to live clean. And none of this happens overnight. You have to take it one baby step at a time. And that's what I encourage people, is just focus on one thing. Don't try to do everything at once, because that's when we get overwhelmed. I've done it. I've been there. And, then you want to just give up. But by taking baby steps and small bites at a time, that's how you get to where you want to be.
Exactly. And, Wendy, to add one more toxin that very few people are understanding the scope of what comes from that toxin, but there are a lot of molds that are growing in places we aren't even aware of sometimes, and the mold and its effects, various molds and their effects on the nervous system is quite problematic, especially when so many storms and water damage and pipe damage and so many things like that have happened. We've got to eliminate toxins out of our homes and out of our digestive system.
Right. And the black mold is just, it's a killer. And like you said, it's silent. So just paying attention to everything around us is so important, I believe.
I'm on the same train with you, girl.
Well, do you have any other thoughts or any other stories of anything else that you'd like to mention?
Well, I would like to, a little startup company like ours, a true mom and pop family business. It's really difficult to do research, but we finally amassed the funds and put together a full-blown research study on our tuner, and the results will be coming out. Our first research study just got completed. And you might be interested to know, it was a study all about headaches. And our device and some of these protocols and the effects on headaches. And that research study is right now waiting to be able to be or let's see, what would we call it? Put in a research journal. So I can't talk too much about the effects other than they're tremendous. And I can't wait until one day you're going to see that in print. And that very first experience that you had, that your friend said, you just got took on this gadget, and you said, no, I felt it. It did something. The world will finally be able to start understanding the effects of these tools on chronic, unrelenting headaches. And we're excited for that. It's really challenging to get to the point where you can take a big group of people and put them into a double-blind, placebo-controlled research study, but we finally did it. And we've got our second research study underway. And I think you might be interested to know what we're studying this time.
Yes.
We wanted to see the effects of our device on dysmenorrhea, or all the cramping and all of the pains and things associated with that very important aspect of especially the female life that helps them bring children to the world. And we're looking at the ways that our device functions on the nervous system so that we can understand better how to help people in the future. But we've been investing heavily to try and help people understand how our tool works, what it seems to work really good at. And I expect that pretty soon, now just a few years ago, we were named the coolest thing made in Utah. We beat out the Millennium Falcon ride at Disneyland for that honor, and a number of other great products made in Utah. But I think soon we might even be put in a national contest and have one of the coolest things made in the USA. And I can't wait to see the continued effects that our tool will have on people's lives as they incorporate it with everything else that can help them be healthy. And I appreciate you sharing things that can help people be healthy. Your mission is very important.
Yes, and thank you for doing all this research and bringing this to light. And I can't wait to see the results, but I can predict what it probably says as someone who's, like I said, been dealing with headaches since I was 13 with no real solutions, besides going to the doctor and they want to give you a prescription. So really appreciate all your work, definitely. And excited to see what else you have coming around the corner. Really appreciate you being here, and we will put the link for the tuner below. And if you have any other final words of wisdom or anything else you'd like to share.
I think the most important thing that you and I can share is hope. I have seen thousands and thousands of people that didn't have hope gain it again. And I think that that's probably our most important job, is to help people that don't think there's anything that can help them find that hope. And I think that's probably some of the best medicine.
Yes, I agree. That word keeps coming up for me too, just sharing hope, because so many people are just down and they don't think there's any solution for them. So, and that is no way to live. We want everybody to feel like they have solutions. They have the power to change their life within them and outside of them. So
glad to be on your team.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here, and really hope everybody checks out the tuner, because the more people that are in this arena, the more we can share it outward and keep empowering others. And I'm Wendy Bjork, and as a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and mentor, I keep empowering women to see beyond what challenges that they are navigating and inspire them to boldly live in hope, like we talked about before, and acceptance, as well as reaching their dreams that have been sitting on the back burner for far too long. So thank you again for being here, and we will see you again soon. Thank you, Sharik. Appreciate it.